Good afternoon, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine. In today's class of Materia Medica, I'm going to take for you Pulsatilla, also called as Pulsatilla pratensis. This is the picture of flower of Pulsatilla. You can observe it very carefully. Pulsatilla is one of the remedy which belongs to the family Ranunculaceae, to which your even Aconite napellus belongs to, as well as Actia racemosa belongs to. So Ranunculaceae family is one of the very important family from which we have extracted many homeopathic remedies. Pulsatilla is one among them and is a great polycrest we have. Pulsatilla is preeminently a female remedy, usually given for the young girls at puberty as well as for the females. So Pulsatilla is basically a woman's remedy but can also be practiced for males, especially as far as the digestive complaints are concerned or respiratory, as well as for the skin complaints. And then Pulsatilla in day-to-day practice in females act simply as hormones like estrogen and progesterone. So Pulsatilla, a woman's remedy belonging to the family Ranunculaceae. The synonym is, it is also called as Anemone pratensis. Common name is windflower. Pulsatilla is called as windflower because the color of the flower changes as and when the wind blows. So Pulsatilla plant itself has got changeability in it, that the color of the flowers changes as and when the wind blows. That's why it is called as windflower. The genus Pulsatilla contains about 40 species of herbaceous perennial native to meadows and prairies of North America, Europe, and Asia, derived from the Hebrew word for Passover or Pasach. The common name Pasch flower refers to the Easter, Passover flowering period in the spring. So the history is related to the Easter, and that's how Pulsatilla is one of the dynamic remedies. Common names include Pasch flower or Pasch flower, windflower, prairie crocus, Easter flower, and meadow anemone, etc. Several species are valued ornamentals because of their finely dissected leaves, solitary, bell shaped flowers, and plumed seed heads. The showy part of the flower consists of sepals, not petals. Important thing is, Pulsatilla is, as I told you, one of the Ranunculaceae, and we have got many remedies extracted from the Ranunculaceae family, and most of the remedies are very deep acting. And in fact, Ranunculaceae plants are highly toxic in their nature. They are unlike your Compositae family, where your Arnica, Calendula, etc. belongs, which are non-toxic and even edible, but the remedies which belong to the family Ranunculaceae are highly toxic, and hence Pulsatilla is also toxic in its material doses or toxic plant. Because the fresh plant yields by distillation with water an acrid oily principle with a burning peppery taste, oil of anemone. The extract that is constituent of this plant, which is extracted from the fresh plant, is called as oil of anemone. It extracts oil which is called as oil of anemone. When kept for some time, this oily substance becomes decomposed into anemonic acid and anemonin. Anemonin, which is a powerful irritant like cantharides, in overdoses causing violent gastroenteritis. So this anemone, as I told you, anemonic acid or anemonin, which you can call it as, is highly toxic to human organism as well as animals, where it acts like a cantharide and leads to violent gastroenteritis if it is taken in material dosage. The chief action of pure anemonin is a depressant, one on the circulation, respiration, and spinal cord, to a certain extent resembling that of aconite. So as you know, aconite is one of the remedy which you have studied, which belongs to the family Ranunculaceae, and aconite is one of the deepest acting polycrest you have. And as you know that aconite poison is an instant poison, isn't it? So these remedies are highly toxic when it is used in material doses, and the more the toxic the material is in its material doses, the more deeper it will have its action on the human organism also, the remedy which belongs to plant kingdom, right? So here you can see this to some or the other extent, these plants are the action of Pulsatilla constituents or chemical constituents of Pulsatilla are similar to aconite for having got its action as a depressant on the circulatory system, respiratory system, as well as spinal cord, etc. So what it contains? It contains anemonin and anemonic acid. Pulsatilla contains anemonin and anemonic acid, which are highly poisonous to the human organism when it is used in material doses, right? So let us see what it causes when it is used in a dynamized form. So irrespective of whether the drug material is toxic or non-toxic, for homeopathic preparation we always use the minimum most dose which exists in molecular form, so no question of toxicity in human organism when it is used in potentized form. So in potentized form, when Pulsatilla was used, the pathogenesis of Pulsatilla is basically it has got prominent action on the mucous membrane. Pulsatilla has got prominent action on the mucous membranes, that of the eyes, that of the nose, that of the throat, as well as ears, and it causes inflammation, which is chronic or subacute inflammation. But the inflammation of Pulsatilla on the mucous membranes are characterized by thick greenish yellow profuse discharges. So it can be a remedy for cold, can be a remedy for ear infection, is a best remedy for eye affections and eye inflammation as well as for throat. But then these inflammations are characterized by profuse. The word profuse matters for Pulsatilla. Thick and greenish yellow discharges. The discharges characterizes Pulsatilla. Right, so it is one of the remedy for ENT, you can say, ear, nose and throat, and then eye complaints. One of the best remedy Pulsatilla is to be given for cold, for ear affections, for eyes, and as well as for ear affections, as well as throat affection. Next, as I told you at the beginning itself, that Pulsatilla is a woman's remedy in homeopathy. In potentized form, Pulsatilla has proved that it has got prominent action on the female genital organs. As I told you, it's actually simply like progesterone and estrogen. Estrogen and progesterone. So its action on the uterus and ovaries, and it is indicated for all types of affections of females, particularly at puberty. It is lesser remedy which is given at menopause, but basically a remedy given at puberty. Like for example, it is one of the remedy for delayed menarche or delayed puberty, but then without any congenital anomalies. So one is it is indicated for amenorrhea or delayed puberty, as well as for delayed menses also. Pulsatilla is a basic remedy to bring out the menses. A patient, a girl who has got history of delayed menses, 2 months, 3 months, etc., or history of suppressed menses, as well as scanty menses, Pulsatilla is one of the best remedy to bring out the menses. So here it acts simply as estrogen and progesterone. I tell you, we have treated many patients for this, delayed menses, and number of patients I cannot narrate now. But recently I tell you, there a female who did not get a mother had brought the daughter who had not got her menses even she had passed 10th standard, and then the mother was very much worried, the only daughter she had, and then I said, just get one sonography done, then we'll start. And sonography revealed that everything was normal, and just Pulsatilla was given, and then she got the menses. I tell you, she got the baby also. She got married after that, and she has got a child also. Yes, so Pulsatilla even brings out suppressed menarche without any congenital diseases. As well as Pulsatilla is one of the remedy even for fertility, especially when patients after marriage have got history of delayed menses and that is the reason they are not getting pregnant. Yes, definitely Pulsatilla is one of the remedy. Number of, it is not sufficient, that everything cannot be documented, but then Pulsatilla, just that's why I say that out, of my 25 years of practice, I have seen Pulsatilla just simply acts as a hormone of estrogen and progesterone. So even, recently I have got a case which is a case of PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. Pulsatilla is one of the best remedy for polycystic ovarian disease, especially when the female has got delayed menses, right? And then, so one is it is a remedy for delayed menses, delayed puberty and scanty menses. Next is it is a great remedy for premenstrual syndrome, premenstrual symptoms, any type of symptoms. It's not that only pain in abdomen or etc. See, Pulsatilla girl suffers from right starting from headache to vertigo to even dimness of vision before the menses, nausea and vomiting before the menses, diarrhea before the menses, mood changes before the menses, tendency for weeping before the menses, any type of complaints which come on before the menses and then they're absolutely relieved once the menses are out is the PQRS symptom of Pulsatilla. Pulsatilla symptoms are highly aggravated before menses and they are relieved once the girl attend the menses or the female attend the menses. So relief after menstruation, aggravation by suppressed menses is the great characteristic of Pulsatilla. So it is a remedy for premenstrual syndrome, even for dimness of vision, aggravated before menses, and patient has got normal vision after the menses. To that extent, Pulsatilla is a remedy for premenstrual syndrome. Next, it is a great remedy for pelvic inflammatory diseases. So as it is a catarrhal remedy. That means it has got action on the mucous membranes to cause inflammation. That's how it is one of the remedy for pelvic inflammatory diseases. For example, salpingo-oophorytis, where there is great leukorrhea. It is a remedy for gonorrhea and it is a remedy for various pelvic inflammatory diseases. As well as Pulsatilla is one of the great remedy for membranous dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea, which is associated with thick clot, and when patient is has history of passing thick and coagulated blood, then Pulsatilla is one of the remedy. Next, it can be also one of the remedy for repeated abortions, where you even treat a patient for abortions. As well as not only that, just let me tell you, Dr. E. Farrington says that Pulsatilla given at 8th or 9th month can even change the position of the fetus. If fetus is in wrong position at the time of or before the delivery at 9 months, and for example breech presentation or etc., Pulsatilla has got so strong action on the muscles of the uterus that even it can changes the position of the uterus when it is given at 9 months. But a note to be noted, a caution to be noted is that Pulsatilla should never be given in the first trimester of pregnancy. In the first, second, third month of pregnancy, Pulsatilla should never be given to the mother, because if we give Pulsatilla at first trimester, there are chances of abortion because Pulsatilla causes menses, isn't it? That's why. So it is contraindicated in first trimester. Next is it has got prominent action on the respiratory organs and on the lungs. Pulsatilla has got great tubercular diathesis. Pulsatilla has got tubercular diathesis. It has got prominent action on the lungs to cause tuberculosis-like symptoms. But besides that, it is a remedy for bronchitis and even asthma and many other respiratory complaints. It also has got action on the GIT, chronic, prominent action on the GIT, where it is known to cause indigestion and then even peptic ulcers. Next very important part, it has got great action on the venous circulation and it is a specific remedy for varicose veins and varicose ulcers. As well as Pulsatilla as it is one of the ranunculaceae, all the ranunculaceae have got rheumatic diathesis too. So tubercular and rheumatic diathesis. And here you can say in Pulsatilla, it is not only rheumatism of the bones and joint, but even that of the muscles. So it leads to rheumatism of the joints, particularly that of the smaller joints. It is the characteristic feature of all the ranunculaceae to have got rheumatism of the smaller joints like metacarpophalangeal joints as well as joints of the ribs. Next, it is one of the remedy for having got prominent action on the skin to cause eczema, ulcers, warts, styes, and etc. etc. Even it is one of the remedy for measles, and can also be a remedy for urticarial rashes. So Pulsatilla, as it is a great polycrest remedy, a great contribution of Dr. Hahnemann towards homeopathy, you will find a very, very effective remedy Pulsatilla is. Coming to the ailments from, you just add there ailments from or causation of Pulsatilla. Unique causes. The diagnosis of Pulsatilla in your patient right starts from, I tell you, it's, the patient's, what you can say is causation itself. And that is very, very important. It has got unique causation of the complaints. Pulsatilla complaints come on usually after having fatty food and starchy food and ice creams and tea and coffee. Pulsatilla patient is very sensitive to oily foods and fatty food and fried food, especially in today's, what you can say is fast food. Pulsatilla patient suffers in general not only GIT complaints, any complaints including menstrual disorders, including any complaints. Pulsatilla has got one of the cause as having eaten the foods which belong to highly oily and fatty food and oily food as ice creams and then fried food and then fast food, cheese, you can say, as well as it is also Pulsatilla complaints come on after having meat and fish and pork and many of this high diet. Next, Pulsatilla complaints come on after abuse of mercury, quinine, sulfur, chamomile, complaints after abortions, complaints after irregular menses, particularly suppressed menses, as well as complaints from ovarian and uterine troubles. As I tell you, one of the things which you will notice or which you will hear from a Pulsatilla patient is that I am not well since puberty. I am never well since puberty. This is the common observation or sensation or feeling from the patient that she is not well since she has got her menarche. Is very important to be noted. Next, it also has got complaints from worm affections in children and indigestion, as well as complaints after getting wet in getting the feet wet, especially suffers from suppression of menses after getting the feet wet, as well as from excessive joy, and then abuse of iron tonics and after badly managed measles. See, one of the causation in case of Pulsatilla is abuse of iron tonics. When patients have been fed with repeatedly iron tonics since childhood, Pulsatilla is one of the remedy, as well as from suppressed measles, as well as ill effects of suppression. Coming to the very important part of Pulsatilla, and that is the mind. Unique mental symptoms you'll find in Pulsatilla. In fact, Pulsatilla is selected. Half of the Pulsatilla patient you can just diagnose as soon as patient enters into your clinic. It is very easy to select Pulsatilla for your patient, as it is very easy to select the drug like lacasis, the drug like arsenic, the drug like sulfur. Even there is no need to narrate the symptoms. Sometimes you just can conclude the drug by only objective symptoms. So Pulsatilla is the same. One is its constitution, which I will be telling you later. Another is mental symptoms. Pulsatilla is indicated for very mild and gentle and kind and yielding patients. They are very timid, they are very mild, and they are very gentle ladies, gentle patients you can say. So mild, timid, emotional and tearful. Pulsatilla patient, if you read different books, says that weeps easily, can hardly give her symptoms without weeping, weeps at everything. disgusted at everything, discouraged, easily offended, timid, irresolute, whining, craves sympathy. Pulsatilla is a patient, you can say, as soon as she enters into your room, she's very affectionate, she looks very lively, and you ask her to sit there. As soon as she sits, she starts crying. And then you'll be surprised that for what is she crying. Other day I had a patient, this is day to day this thing, a number of cases where I can say that they have got easily weeping tendencies. You'll feel as if you should take a bucket and stand there, because that much they weep with tearfulness in the sense they are highly lacrimal, in the sense what, उनका आंसू बहुत जल्दी आता है, बहुत जल्दी. So that lady, recently, many patients I tell you, because Pulsatilla is a frequently indicated remedy. You see many patients I've given Pulsatilla. Many patients Naxomica. Many patients arsenic. Many patients Lyco. Many patients Natriumur. Your polycrest are great curative remedies. So other day patient sat and then she started crying. I thought कुछ tragedy हुई है, कोई patient corona से मरा है. Then I said, yes, what is your problem? Why are you crying so much? I just stood up from my chair. And then she told, I've got backache. A backache, a female having got backache is a normal thing, and she was crying for just backache. Right? So, other day patient was crying only because she was perspiring. And she told me that, another patient, she was crying so much, I tell you, I had to offer her my handkerchief. You can ask my, interns and PGs sit over there. And for what she was crying? She told that I'm having excessive perspiration. See, look here. Look here, the way I'm perspiring. We have many patients. People perspire like anything. But then if it is Pulsatilla, see, whining craves sympathy, discouraged easily, disgusted at everything. She was disgusted only for perspiration. She was a lady of around 55 years old. Yes, I'm just giving you the example, live example of Pulsatilla patients. Easily tearful. Yes, and timid and discouraged easily. And then, as I told you, she was crying so much because she thinks that, and she told, I will die of my perspiration. I was asking her any other complaints. Do you have high blood pressure? So patients tell, I can die of high blood pressure. Patients tell, I can die of diabetes. She was telling she will die of perspiration. So timid, irresolute, whining, craves sympathy, and discouraged, easily disgusted at everything. Children like fuss and caresses. Morbid dread of opposite sex. Marriage. Pulsatilla patient has got aversion towards marriage. Thinks that sexual intercourse is a sinful act. Given to extremes of pleasure and pain. Easily moved to tears and laughter. Next is very important is here changeability. One moment Pulsatilla patient is tearful, another moment she just keep quiet. Sometimes even one moment she is highly weeping and next moment she can be irritable. Changeability is one of the characteristic of Pulsatilla. As I said, it is the doctrine of signature of Pulsatilla that is changeability, because as and when the wind blows, the color of the flower changes their color. Similarly, even this is reflected in Pulsatilla, mental also, physical also, that patient is highly changeable in mood. One moment is she's, quiet, another moment she starts crying. So easily moved to tears and laughter. Religious melancholy. Fear to be alone, of dark, fear of ghost, fear of insanity, fear of high places. Capricious, miserly, suspicious, very irritable, touchy, feels slighted or fears slight. Answer yes or no by nodding her head. Imagines that certain articles of food are not good for human race. So she has got certain good, certain ideas about the food. And once she says that this food is not good for health, she will never touch throughout her life. So she has got some fixed ideas. Sad from disagreeable news, mania from suppressed menses, anxiety about the heart in the evening, even to the suicide. Anxiety as if in hot air. Desire to be carried slowly. She is highly relieved by consolation. Pulsatilla patient needs sympathy. And as I told, she was crying because she was having severe perspiration. A recent case I'm just telling. So I said, nothing to worry. Within one day, with this remedy, you'll feel better. And she stopped crying. She stopped crying, and then she stopped crying as if she has not cried. That was changeability in mood. Yes, so she is relieved by consolation. Natramure patients are aggravated by consolation. Pulsatilla patients are relieved by consolation. Hatred of woman, delusions women are evil will injure his soul. In males, remorse in the evening. Weeping when disturbed at work, weeping when interrupted while nursing. Delusion, she is alone in the world, she is always alone. Sees cats, dogs, insects, devils, sees black forms when dreaming, and she is fastidious. And here only, let me tell you, she is highly indecisive because of, changeability in the mood. Why is you cannot rely on Pulsatilla patients. You can't just trust them. Yes, if you tell a Pulsatilla lady, will you come with me to the market? We'll go in the evening, and then by evening, you'll find her that evening she'll tell, no, I cannot come. So they are highly indecisive and yielding. Yes, so I cannot come, I think I cannot come, right? So they cannot take the decision, they are changeable in mood and easily cried. So typical women symptoms you'll find. Women are famous. Nowadays men cries more than women, that is a different thing. Yes, nowadays more men are pulsatilla than women. But then this is the inborn quality of females to cry. Next, coming to the guiding features, adapted to the persons of indecisive, slow, phlegmatic temperament with sandy hair, blue eyes, pale face, plethoric, the woman's remedy. Pulsatilla patients are they are very beautiful. They are beautiful like Western women. Blondes, it is indicated for blondes. Whatever symptoms I tell which are not written, you can please note it down. Because everything cannot be documented. These are the notes taken and written, but then so many knowledge which we have by experience, all of us, which we cannot write down everything. So you can note down. So Pulsatilla is indicated for blondes. Blondes means Western women who have got sandy hair, brown hair, blue eyes, very fair, and they are plethoric, as if they are full of blood. They are fat, they are fleshy. They have got tendency for fleshiness, they are fat, they are beautiful, blue eyes, sandy hair, and etc. Never well since puberty. Symptoms ever changing. No to chills, no to stools, no to attacks alike. Very well 1 hour, very miserable the next. Changing and contradictory symptoms, having no head or tail to them. Symptoms are relieved by moving about slowly in open air. Underline this symptom. Pulsatilla patient has got relief only by one thing, and that is she wants to move about slowly in fresh, open, crisp air. So she needs to go to the garden if she wants to feel better. So she is highly aggravated in closed room where the windows and door is closed. She always wants the windows to be open. So she is relieved by cold, open, fresh, open air where she needs to move about. Underline this symptom. Pains are drawing, tearing, erratic, rapidly shifting from one part to another. Pains start suddenly, disappear gradually, vice versa. Pains are accompanied with constant chilliness. The more severe the pain, the more severe the chill is. Next is, all the discharges from the mucous membranes are thick, bland, greenish yellow, but vaginal discharges such as leukorrhea are sometimes acrid and excoriating, causing rawness of the parts. So all the discharges are, I have told you, thick, greenish yellow. Chilliness in warm room, patient, though is chilly, seeks the open air, doesn't want to cover. There is thirstlessness. Underline these symptoms. Pulsatilla is highly thirstless patient. Though you'll find the tongue is dry, but still Pulsatilla patient doesn't want to drink. And if you take the history, even after food, she doesn't want to drink. No thirst at all. Next, hemorrhages are passive, vicarious, dark, easily coagulating blood. Coming to the head complaints, headache, Neuralgic pain commencing in the right temporal region with scalding lacrimation of affected side. Headache from overworry. Headache of schoolgirls at the time of puberty. Headache relieved in open air. Vertigo before, during, after suppressed menses. Cannot lie with the head low. Headache one-sided. In fact, one-sidedness of most of the complaints Pulsatilla has. Pulsatilla has rarely bilateral complaints. Even suppose patient has got pain in the ear. Pulsatilla is one of the great remedy for infants. Note down that. Pulsatilla is a great remedy for infants who are suddenly newly born, and then Pulsatilla has got, especially when gonorrheal tendencies. It is one of the remedy for infants, especially immediately after birth, if the infant has got ophthalmia neonatrum like condition. As well as here you can say, as I was telling you, that Pulsatilla has got one-sidedness of the complaints is the generality of Pulsatilla. Note down it. So usually patient suffers from one-sided ear pain, one-sided eye complaints, one-sided headache, one-sided throat complaints, and etc. So one-sidedness, it can be right side, it can be left side, but one-sidedness is the great characteristic feature of Pulsatilla. Ear complaints, otorrhea, thick bland discharge. Pulsatilla, I have already told you, ENT remedy in the sense ear, nose, throat and eye. So ear complaints, Pulsatilla has got prominent action for the chronic suppurative otitis media or otorrhea, thick bland discharge, offensive odor, external ear is swollen and red, catarrhal otitis, sensation as if something were being forced outward, otalgia, worse at night. Otalgia is pain in the ear. Diminishes acuteness of hearing. It is also one of the remedy for mumps, especially metastatic to the breast or testis. Deafness as if ears were stopped up, can hear better in a car and in a warm room. Pulsatilla is also a remedy for deafness, especially after ear infection. It is one of the great remedy for an infant or child who is crying due to pain in the ear. Note down it. Pulsatilla is a great remedy to relieve the pain in the ear in children. Next, complaints of the eyes. I tell you, Pulsatilla, all the anemones, as it is, they are related to Easter. Because they are related to Easter, they are highly lacrimal. Lacrimal in the sense, the tears are always at the lids. They open the eyes, they have tears. And then these tears are mental also as well as physically also. Sometimes you can say that Pulsatilla patient even has got tearfulness without even tendency to cry. They always keep on wiping their eyes. You will find them, an old lady of Pulsatilla, you will find that she is always wiping her eyes, though she is not crying also. See, she is highly lacrimal. So, but then besides that, Pulsatilla has got great inflammatory action on the eyes, itching and burning in the eyes, ophthalmia neonatum in the sense as soon as infant is born, you can see stinking of the eyes, sticking of the lids, etc. So, profuse lacrimation and secretion of mucus. It is also one of the remedy for lacrimal duct fistula. Thick, profuse, yellow, bland discharge, lids inflamed, agglutinated, ophthalmia neonatum, gonorrheal. Next is, it is one of the great remedy for styes. Recurrent styes, mainly of upper lids, blepharitis. Yes, just yesterday I have given to one patient who was a case of breast tumor of the left breast, and she was, one of the characteristic feature was she was already having a stye on the left eye, and she told, I cannot get rid of this stye. It goes, again it comes. Pulsatilla has got tendency for styes. Next, it is also one of the remedy for paralysis of optic nerve and blind attacks before menses. Blind attacks before menses. You can say premature cataract also, Pulsatilla can be indicated. So that is all about Pulsatilla's first part, and this is till eye complaints. I will be continuing Pulsatilla in the next lecture. Very, very interesting remedy Pulsatilla is. Not only interesting as far as botanically also, you see the flowers are very purple. Sometimes the flowers will turn pink. They will turn yellow when the weather changes, etc. So the same thing you will find in case of Pulsatilla also. So study Pulsatilla from all the possible books and come attend my lecture in the next class. Take care. Thank you.